Good evening, everyone. I would like to introduce Father Dr. P.S.Lenin Antony S.J. He is the main speaker for today. He is from Idukki district, Kerala. He has done his postgraduate studies in philosophy and social work and has done a Ph.D. in sociology. He has worked for the tribal people of Kerala for the past 10 years and was Director of AADI, Attapady Adivasi Development Initiatives, Palakkad District in Kerala. He has worked as a Tribal-Dalit activist, eco-trainer, motivator, and environmentalist for more than 8 years and a counselor for 2 years among the tribal students. He has organized 2-day national tribal and eco festivals for 9 years with hundreds of students and ecologists from different parts of our country actively participating in them. He is actively involved in socio-tribal eco-related struggles of people in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. He promotes and values tribal art, culture, and languages, promotes tribal dance, and has published a tribal songbook. At present, Father Dr. P.S. Antony is in an NGO called Samskriti, a Socio-Cultural and Research Action Center in Kannur. I would like to welcome on behalf of Southern Institute for the Study of Religion, Pune, and the St. Vincent's College of Commerce, Pune, and to share his views on what resources does my religion have to foster peace at the individual and communal level, especially in the face of cultural fate, in the background and perspective of tribal religions. Dear Father, once again, welcome. I wish all the best. Please share your views on the topic. Over to you, Father.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilby, sir. Okay. Ambri, can you change the slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, good evening, dear friends. Respected Father Peter de Cruz, S.J., Mr. Gilby John, friends of Southern Institute for the Study of Religion, Pune, and the staff and students of St. Vincent's College of Commerce, Pune, and all who attend this online in the faith talk. Hearty welcome on and all. My talk is on the resources the tribal religion and culture have to foster peace at individual and community level in the face of culture of hate. Though I belong to Christianity or Christian religion, but I identify with the tribal religion. More than 10 years I have been living with tribal people, so I feel tribal religion is also mine, or tribal people are my people. So that may be the reason Mr. Gilby John or Father Peter they have invited me. Okay, next. The content will be, we'll be talking about like the present context and the tribals in India or in Kerala, the tribal culture, religion, and worldview, their values, some their issues, or my own experiences. And I believe that the tribals have the real resources. We could discuss on that. And what should we do to promote peace and harmony? These are the like outline of my talk. Next. Of course, I believe the tribals are God's own people. We call Kerala is God's own country. And I used to say tribal people are really God's own people. Yes. Next. The present context, little bit. The U.S. Commission on International Religious Freedom classified India as Tier 2 in persecuting religious minorities, the same as that of Iraq and Egypt. In a 2018 report, USCSRF charged Hindu national groups for the campaign to suffragetize India through violence, intimidation, and harassment against non-Hindus. Religious violence in India includes acts of violence by followers of one religious group against followers and institutions of another religious group, often in the form of rioting. Religious violence in India has generally involved Hindus and Muslims. Next. Despite the secular and religious tolerant constitution of India, broad religious representation in various aspects of society, including the government, the active role played by autonomous bodies such as National Human Rights Commission of India and National Commission for Minorities, and the ground level work being done by non-governmental organizations for acts of religious violence tend to occur as the root causes of religious violence often run deep history, religious activities, and politics in India. Next. Along with the domestic organizations, international human rights organizations such as Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch publish reports on acts of religious violence in India. From 2005 to 2009, an average of 130 people died every year from communal violence, or about 0.01 deaths per 1 lakh population. The state of Maharashtra reported the highest total number of religious violence over that 5-year period, while Madhya Pradesh experienced the highest fatality rate per year per 1 lakh population between 2005 and 2009. Over 2012, a total of 97 people died across India from various riots related to religious violence. So, in this context, different parts of India, we face lots of violence, especially on the religious rights and so on is taking place. We reflect who are these Adivasis, what are their values, what are their religious dimensions, and what can we take to foster peace in our country. So I want to just a few words about who are these Adivasis. The term itself, all over India, all parts of the states, we like to use the word Adivasi, not Vanavasi. The ruling party of India, they consciously use the word Vanavasi. Vanavasi means the people living in the forest. They don't want to use the people like the word Adivasi, because Adivasi means the people of the land. They have the right to possess the land. That consciously they don't want to. They simply use the word Vanavasi. That even in Kerala they use, and we don't approve that word. It is one way. It is anti-Adivasi. So let us a little bit explore about Adivasis in India and Kerala. Next. Yes. According to Oxford Dictionary, even tribe is a group of people in a primitive or barbarous state of development, acknowledging the authority of the chief and huge common ancestor. We take all over the world, the indigenous people or tribal have the same aspect. Ralph Linden, 1955, stated that the tribe is a group and occupies a contiguous territory and having feeling of unity, cultural similarities, be feeling constant contacts and common community interests. Next. Yeah. Tribes in India, there are 461 ethnic groups recognized as scheduled tribes in India. I'm not going to detail, I know I'm not going to read. 10.43 crore people, consisting of 8.6% of the total population in India. And they live in rural areas and 0.3 in urban areas. Okay. Next slide. Kindly go to the next one. Okay, go to the next one. Let's not spend on the data such. Yeah. Coming to Kerala, Kerala is one of the smallest states in the Indian Union. Of course, you know, it occupies 1% of the total land area of India, with a population of 3.3 crores in 2010 census, which is 3% of the total population of India at the 2011 census. Yeah. In Kerala, tribals are predominantly live in the Western Ghats. According to 2011 census, the scheduled tribe population in Kerala constitutes 1.43% only of the total population. Next. Since I am from Kerala, or I'm at present I am in Kannur, just in Kerala, in 7 areas they are living, like Kasaragod, Wayanad, Palakkad, Attapady, where I was there for more than 10 years, Nelampur, then Malappuram, Kulam, and Idukki, and the area the tribal people live. Next, there are 36 tribal communities in Kerala, different communities. Yeah. The 3 tribes in Palakkad Attapady, where I have been working, are called Irula, Muduga, Kurumba. And all over India, the Madhu, the man who was killed, he belongs to Muduga community. And unfortunately, just for food sake, he was tortured and killed. And even the investigation is not properly done. And justice is not tribal youngsters who fight for justice are often killed. And some more others, non-tribal, they don't support. There is a problem we see all over India, and especially in Kerala. Okay, next. Kindly go. Yeah. Next one. I need not to explain about the Attapady variety. Some good things about the tribals. See, good things when you say, in my experience, it is like experiential sharing, not a very in-depth study as such. In Kerala, especially where Palakkad, more Adivasi people have land and they cultivate. And the other side is the tribal or Dalit or fishermen, their land is snatched or what is called taken away for the sake of development. Often they are sidelined, marginalized. They have been living there and their own land. Now also most of the people have land. Most people have good houses now. The Kerala government is doing very well for the tribals, in positively speaking. A good number of people are in good government job. Out of 50,000 people, 2,000 people have got Attapady area, the Palakkad district of Kerala. And the good education systems are there. I would say 2 colleges are there, 1 polytechnic, 1 ITI, more than 30 schools, CBSE or 6 secondary schools, and so on. In that area itself, 746 square kilometer in the tribal area of Palakkad. It is same with all parts of Kerala, and we are happy that tribal people are given more importance. Health system far better now. We have a tribal specialty hospital there, and different hospitals or sub-centers, family health centers, and so on. Transport road facility, of course, the roads, highway is not okay. And we have tribal development offices there, ICDS, police, station, and etc. And we have tribal ST promoters, scheduled tribe promoters. More than 100 people are there to take care of each hamlet. We call it village. We don't call it a colony. People are taken care of. The collector is responsible for them, and media coverage is very much there. So your small news in this area is given. All part of the small media in Kerala is given, so that tribal people are given importance. That is a positive thing, and good collaboration support is between Adivasi and non-Adivasi. Next. Yes. There are available services in Attapady. There are many things. Okay, colleges, etc. Next. Next. Yes. If you come to Kerala, these tribal areas are in general very beautiful places, or Wayanad, or Idukki, or Palakkad Attapady. Very attractive place, beautiful place. People live in harmony, and they have, what is it called? They coexist with nature, or their life is eco-friendly. And Attapady, especially a beautiful, lovely place covered with Western Ghats, a biggest area distributed on tribal area it is. Rainfall is very less. And beautiful 3 rivers are there: Bhavani, Shivani. Silent Valley National Park is there in Attapady, etc. So The tribal area is in general is very beautiful. Next. Yeah. The tribal people cultivate variety of their own millets. Call it Malayalam, they call it Tovara, Sama, Varagu, and so on. I don't know the words in English. Anyway, and they have their own system, governing system is there. And Zon. And they have their own festivals, like Malleshwara temple festival. They have their own god and goddesses, but now they pray to Shiva and other gods. Okay, next, they have their own songs and rituals. Everything is beautiful. Kindly go. Next. Yeah, next one. There are many schools and Attapady. The data is not necessary now. Yeah, next. Yeah, these are the 36 tribal communities in Kerala. Interestingly, Tamil Nadu also has got a variety of 36 tribal communities. In India, let us go to India. Overall, let us just analyze. Yeah. So next. Yeah. So tribal or Adivasi, some of the common features of majority of tribal communities in Kerala. Most of the tribal communities in India, they don't have a script. You take Orav or Sandal or Munda or take here in South India, any tribal community, they don't have, in general, their own script they don't have. In general, tribals lack of technical skills or lack of education is found in different parts of India, lack of interest in individual ownership of land, lack of interest to oppose others or challenge. Next. Yeah, tribal people prefer community living. Of course, we know. All parts of the world, indigenous people, tribal communities.
Father, are you disconnected?
Sorry. Okay, I'm back.
If there is any issue with the video, just you can put up the video of yours and move to the slides.
Okay. I think overheating is just my. Okay. So the tribals prefer community living. They worship forests, gods, give respect to others. In general, you see, tribal people interact with them. Take Northeast or Madhya Pradesh or Jharkhand. Interestingly, I was part of Jamai Ulsav, that is the justice working among indigenous people. Their father Alexeka and so on. They organized more than 7 years the national tribal festivals. I attended at Bhopal, in Tatanagar. I attended in Ranchi, Calcutta, and parts, Jepasa and so on, where Father Chansami lived. I had attended, so I could experience their life. Take any tribe in India, they have written or what I'm sharing or comment. They give respect to others. The tribal people respect others tremendously. They expect, in general, they accept the leadership of the traditional leader. We call in Kerala Mupan. Mupan is elder. Each hamlet they have elder. They have their own governing system. In Kerala, it is interesting, especially in tribal communities of Palakkad. They have Mupan, Bandari, Kurudala, Mandakaran. It's a structure. Each one has a role. It is more democratic, as well as all others respect that system, which you don't see now in our most of the tribal communities. They lose that traditional governing system. Marriage, death, reaching puberty, or age of girls, etc., are considered as community events. In Kerala, in general, girls when they attend puberty, it's not celebrated or it's not even not revealed as outside. The tribal community, almost all communities, they celebrate. And for marriage, they have special functions. For death, it is interestingly in Attapady, all 3 communities they dance when somebody dies. The whole community, including young or old men, they dance. They celebrate even death. That is, we should learn from them. Acceptance of the different community obligations. Interested in general in consuming alcoholism in Dumka or other parts of North India also, they make their own alcohol and they drink. Have their own traditional art forms, folk dance. Almost all tribal communities they have got. Some of them now lose their traditional folk arts and so on. During festivals and rituals, that of course in North India is very famous, Garam festival and so on. They are afraid of the souls of the departed. Most of the tribal communities, they are afraid of the outside world. Yeah, they're fond of nature. That everybody knows that they love Mother Earth, nature. Once the forest wild elephants died in Palakkad, the people came and they offered puja. They prayed. It was so nice to see that. No non-tribal will do that. They always try to disturb or kill the animals, but the tribals respect all the animals. They don't ill-treat them. I have witnessed so many things. Okay, next, yeah. So some more besides the tribal communities, I have a few special characteristics based on their living condition, habits, climate, livelihood, and occupation, status of women. Status of women and so on is very positively respected. Women are respected in tribal communities. In Kerala also, I don't see anywhere else. Even educated women are respected in common families, whereas when you see tribal communities, the equality is found. Living pattern, living locality, and cultural aspects. Those are kinship as an instrument of social bond among the tribal community. Lack of hierarchy among men and groups. Absence of strong, complex formal organization. Communitarian basis of landholding and their social status. Plus accumulation on the use of capital and on market trading. A distinct psychological bend for enjoying life. A tribe should have the least functional interdependence with the community. It should be economically backward in general. There should be comparative geographical isolation of its people. They should have a common dialect. A tribe should have customer laws. This is what in general, when you take a class also, what do you say about tribal community? The definition like. Okay, next. Okay, some values. There are many values. Tribal discipline. I know discipline and obedience to the traditions of our ancestors. Respect for self, elders, and others. Respect for nature and property. Patience, pride in family, clan, tradition is also found. And love, loyalty, and generosity. Next. Yeah. What values would you nurture from the tribal society? Integrity. We practice reliability, honesty, and accountability, and all that we say and do. This is what the tribal say and cooperation. Yes. Through teamwork, cooperation, and the sharing of resources, we accomplish more together. Respect for self and others. We place the highest value on the people in our organization and those we serve. That's what they say. Okay, next. I have some of their values in 5 words. Even when you read Bible, Bhagavad Gita, Quran, and so on, the values which we see in those scriptures, sacred texts, we will see experience in tribal life. We call it values. One, I would say equality. Even Indian Constitution says, and that they practice in their life. Egalitarian community. They believe in equality, men, women, or others. They don't suppress, oppress, and so on, which we see, especially the scheduled caste communities have been suppressed, marginalized, and they experience that. Tribal community, they never, I mean, even in Indian society, they are considered to be even the law community, but they themselves, they never believe that somebody is lower to them or they respect others. The first thing is equality. That is a value they believe. And sharing, no greed for money, power, wealth, property, or anything, which they all, even our Indian people, or the whole globally, we see that people look for accumulating wealth and etc. Tribals in general, they share. They don't have that greed. For the mother earth, most important values which everybody should think of. I think afterwards, towards the end, we will be watching that Chief Seattle's thing, tribal and the view on the world. Okay, the love for the mother earth, one of the more very important values which tribals believe. They respect human being, they respect the mother earth, they respect others, they respect animals, birds, or trees, entire earth. They see it's like their own mother. That's a beautiful thing which actually we have to inculcate. Respect for all. They respect whomever you are. I have witnessed in Jharkhand, it is Madhya Pradesh or other Gujarat or West Bengal. When you go to Sandal's house or Orao house or Munda's house or Ho or any tribe, or in Kerala, you go to Paniya, Adia, Katanaika or Irala, Muruga, Kurumba, tribal people, they respect you and they don't dominate anybody. That is a value I have observed in different parts of the country. And they know about tomorrow. Last one is like, live in the present. They live happily. When they have money, they enjoy. For example, we have a festival in Attapady, Malleshwara Temple Festival. There's some boys, they yearn for 1 week or 2 weeks. They earn 5,000 rupees. Within a day, they spend and spend for others. Celebrate life. So often we fail to celebrate, and they know how to live the life positively. Of course, we have to fail for tomorrow, that's another thing. But when you observe, they have the value. Living in the present is one of the beautiful values they practice. Next. Okay. So then same thing I am repeating. The common values which we find among the Adivasi north, east, or west of our country is similar, and they are common in the 36 communities of Kerala. But due to globalization, provisions, and influence of non-tribal communities of Kerala and others, some of the values are diminishing. The secular and commercialized thinking have polluted the mind and Kerala or others. Yeah. Next. Tribal religions in India. Roughly 8.6% of Indian population is made up of so-called scheduled tribes, traditional tribal communities, while most members of these tribes have adopted variants of Hinduism, Islam, or Christianity. A considerable number still adhere to the traditional tribal religion with varying degrees of syncretism. Yes, next. Yeah, some numbers. According to the 2011 census of India, about 7.9 million out of 1,210 million people did not adhere to any of the subcontinent's main religious communities of Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, or Jainism. The census listed atheists, Zoroastrian, Jews, and various specific and unspecified tribal, other religions and situations. So, of these religious census grouping, the most numbers are Sarnaism. Of course, in Jharkhand, they have like worshipping the Sarna Prakriti or trees or nature, listed variously in the census as Sarna. 4.9 million response only is it. So we don't have exactly number who are really like sarnas or people who worship nature. So, some issues also let me share. It's like my own experience I'm sharing. issues affecting Adivasis. In Kerala, Adivasis are the people who are least cared, I would say. I said, of course, they are one way, the government is doing so much things, but often they are least cared. And hundreds of government and non-governmental projects are made and implemented, but very rarely the benefit reaches them. Often the need assessment is not done, and MLAs and MPs make policies and design from suppose Kerala is from Trivandrum, and many times they implement the unwanted projects. One example is communication. During in 2013, more than 50 infants died of malnutrition. So the government from Delhi as well as Trivandrum, Kerala, they decided to introduce communication, preparing food together and distribute. And it was not that effective. That many studies reveal that it's not that effective because they were earning, they were cooking, they were living well, but once then even men, they were lazy, the men started drinking more and so on. The issues are more. That's what some studies reveal. Anyway, and another thing is like what is it called? For their children's health, they introduce hen in the villages. But they gave for some hen and so on. But after a few days, nothing was there. They all, the original plan was to, the hen will lay egg and they will have more eggs and they will have more nutritious food, etc. It was not successful there. Often because they decide from about which they don't consult with the people, especially the tribal. That is a major problem, I would say. Okay, next. I just make it 5 major problems which I observe. One is exploitation, land alienation. You take Gujarat, take Jharkhand, take even Wayanad, all parts of even Trivandrum. Now the fishermen face a huge problem. One way is like land alienation. Their own land, they are like strangers, and they say it is a part of development. For the right, they will say you are anti-development, you are speaking, you are anti-national, even you are like Maoist. Even people who are working with Adivasis, we are what is it called, marked as anti-nationals. So it's the problem. Best example is none other than our father Chan Sami, who died last year. So the exploitation, tribals are the most affected victims of this development. Second one is, I would say, poverty and malnutrition. Different parts of India, take Bihar or Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand. There, especially these tribal people are literally poor, or malnutrition is one of the major issues there. Illiteracy dropout compared to other communities. Of course, in Kerala is 100% education. We are all proud of that. Whereas when you see the dropout level compared to other area, tribal people have more dropout. Illiteracy or higher level, especially after 10, they get dropout or this emotionally they are affected. So I know some even friends, they college or school, higher schools, just because people are not aware that they are discriminating, they are tribal area more. Last one, lack of leadership awareness about their own rights. There are laws, legislation, but people are not aware of that. So protection of tribals and Adivasis. Okay, next. Just some solutions. What I would say, first thing is when we are thinking about promoting peace from the tribal perspective, we should have right attitude towards the Adivasis. Attitude needs to change often. Wherever they don't have land, we should provide land, but we should not snatch their land. Whatever it may be. See, Gujarat, there is big issues going on. Huge, they say we are going to develop, but the tribal area, tribal land, they want to take away. They are peacefully living. So this is providing land to the landless tribals as well as they should not take their land. Proper government initiatives and action, yes. We have to create more innovation, good education. We have to preserve their culture, religion, or etc. And select from them the more leaders. Not just one Draupadi Murmu is not enough. We need more civil officers, service officers, and other policymakers from tribal communities. We need to empower the tribal NGOs, service and right, Dalit and tribal development. Dalit means broken people, proper monitoring, counseling support, government initiative, etc. Yes. Next. Yes. Now, let us understand the unique tribal religion and culture, because this is not my major thing I want to cover. I was supposed to speak. Because unique tribal vision of life and understanding of the natural resources, understanding the difference between tribal and non-tribal worldviews. Okay, kindly. Next. Yeah. See the conflicting worldview, difference in the understanding of natural resources between the tribal and non-tribal. Parameters, tribal worldview, non-tribal worldview. When you take the resource use, the tribal worldviews as means of livelihood, whereas for non-tribal worldview as means of production. When you say take a goal of production, that is the tribal worldview to satisfy basic needs, whereas non-tribal worldview to get more and more profit-oriented. Profits. How much to produce? The tribal worldview to satisfy basic human needs. Non gospel values, I would say. And non-tribal worldview promote consumerism. Method of production, of course, labor intensive, capital intensive. Next. Yeah. Use of technology. The tribal, according to tribal, for them, approach say it is not developed and so on. Non-tribal, of course, will use high technology. Method of resource use, judicious and careful. Non-tribal, reckless and careless, leading to waste. Whether mindful of the resources? Yes. The tribals hence resource regenerating practices. Non-tribals? No, hence resources depleting measures. Next. Scale of production, small scale, allowing no waste. Tribal. Non-tribal, large scale, giving into the waste. How are resources looked at? Tribal, with respect as they have rights of their own merit. Non-tribal as commodities, as if they don't have rights of their own. Relationship, beautiful two words. Symbiotic. Symbiotic, mutual. Whereas non-tribal, dichotomous relationship. Dichotomous. Of course, you understand the meaning. Basic worldview, cosmocentric. Tribal worldview, one word if you summarize, it is a cosmocentric life. We're not homocentric. Whereas the tribal, non-tribal community or worldview, homocentric, myself, egoistic, selfish. I want to achieve, I want to gain name, fame, well, all for myself, not for earth-centric or cosmocentric. Next, it's all spiritual, I would say. Yeah, basic ideology, which all religions speak about sharing, equality, and so on. For tribal, yes, sharing, equality, amnesty. Non-tribal, exploiting, dominating. Okay. End of all economic activity. The tribal worldview what we see is satisfaction, contentment, happiness. The non-tribal, dissatisfaction, greed, and happiness. how does it impact on society? The tribal value, equality, solidarity, just and humane life. The non-tribal value, fostering inequality, dominating and dominated, exploitative and oppressive life. Next. Coming to some like a second groves and forest, tribal at the center of cultural life. Dark and Sarna consists of tall trees, of course, you know, place of worship. Next, there's some photos. Next, Meghalaya, sacred grove. Next, it's all their spiritual places. Next, sacred Kerala and Maharashtra. It's interestingly like Sabarimala, where lakhs of people come in. Now, but really a tribal area, and it is like a Kavu. Kavu is a this is what sacred groves of Kerala and Maharashtra. We call in Malayalam Kavu. That is a part of the earth. Okay, next. Sacred groves of Northeast, Jharkhand. Yeah, next. Trees. Next. In some places, sacred groves are, yeah. Origin of temples, yeah. Their columns were trees. In Christian churches, alignments of pillars, colored lights which are through stained windows. Yeah, next. Sacred groves are found in Western Ghats and Western coasts. Every branch and twig is sacred. Census 1921 in Tuangur of Kerala had 12,000 cow groves. So now most of them are temples, big temples, which are owned by high caste or other caste, not tribal. Cows are mostly part of tribals, they are owners. Ayapanga is very, very dense. Yeah, next. The hills of Sabarimala were originally sacred groves. These are the center of folklore. Okay, next. Yeah, next. Okay, next. About tribal irrigation system or tribal practice. Okay, next. 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 Yeah, next. Is all their, yeah, their cultivation or everything is depend on nature. Yeah, next. Next. So many non-tribal societies have left. Yeah, left such practices and use scientific and modern system of resources. Today there is a need of sustainable use of resources, but people need also to have a sustainable lifestyle. It will mean changing the lifestyle from homocentric worldview to cosmocentric worldview, which tribals practice all parts of the world. Next. Now, yeah. Even in the North India, tribal surnames are connected to natural resources. Yeah, for example, we know Ekka means tortoise. Tribal surname. Lakra means tiger. This is the paddy. Next. Yeah, Kujur means creeper. Kanna means iron. Soren means stone. Everything is connected with tamarind. Turkey, bird means fish. So we here in North India or different parts of India, we hear such names. All connected to nature, environment. Okay, next. Over. Yeah. Now, could you another slide? Can you present small slide? We'll watch that one. That is You of course you know Chief Seattle. I would say when you think about tribal religion, it is connected with nature, and they value so much, which I observed. The whatever Chief Seattle speaks, it's a value of each tribal communities in India. So we are called to adopt that one. Once you do that, I would say we will be able to promote peace, foster peace in our country, where this culture of hate is too much. And we let us let us watch that one. Ambali? Hello? Yeah. Yes. I am taking you to a date in history, exactly 168 years back. Okay, next. In America, the president is called Ph.D. Next. Can you change? Yes. This is P.T. an American president, Franklin Pierce. P.T. wanted to buy land from the Native Americans. Native Americans, indigenous people, the tribals of that land. 1854, 168 years and 168 years back, this man, Franklin Pierce, wanted to buy land from the Native Americans. Yeah, next. So, Chief Seattle. Next. Yes, the Native Americans were surprised that land could be sold or purchased. How can you buy land and purchase? Okay, next. Chief Seattle of the Zomish tribe, you might have heard of this, met the president and spoke this. Maybe this is the first ecological speech ever we heard, I think. 168 years back, they had that sense, ecological sense, and still they have this people. They have that tremendous love for the Mother Earth. Like we, the Christians know about Francis of Assisi, who cared Mother Earth or loved Mother Earth. Same like this great Chief Seattle of the Wish tribe. He spoke like this. Yeah, continue. Next. How can you buy or sell the sky, the warmth of the land? Next. This idea is strange to us. If you do not own the freshness of the air and the sparkle of the water, how can you buy them? Next. Next. So, when you wish to buy our land, you ask much of us. You say that you will reserve us a place so that we can live comfortably to ourselves. You will be our father and we will be your children. It's like the government goes to different parts of the country, say that we will develop. Take even the Kudankulam anti-nuclear area, or take Platchmara anti-Coca-Cola area in Palakkad, take Vizhinjam, where this Adani's company is there, Gujarat, Jharkhand, different parts of the country. So we will develop. We will be okay. So we will consider the offer to buy our land, but it will not be easy. But this land is sacred to us. The land is sacred. Yeah. Next. The white man's death. Forget the country of their birth when they go to walk among the stars. Our dead never forget this beautiful earth, for it is the mother of the red man. Next. Beautiful sentence. Yes. Next. Yeah. We are part of the earth and it is part of us. Beautiful sentence. We are part of the earth. The perfumed flowers are our sisters. Next. The deer, the horse, the great eagle, these are our brothers. It's like reading a psalm in a Bible. These tribals, they just value that one. And you see in Palakkad, when they see the animals, they, especially wild animals, they respect. And there are many parts of the world, the tribal people always, they consider as like brothers and sisters. Yes, next, the horse, the great eagle, they are our brothers. Yes, next. The rocky crest, the grass in the meadows, the body heat of the pony and the man, all belong to the same family. We are one. Thumbs up, ek hai. We are all one. We are all Hindu, Christian, Muslim. The trees, the animals, birds, we are one. Every part of this earth is sacred to my people. It's not tribal spirituality or tribal religion speak. You talk any part of the any tribal, they will say that every part of this, everything is part of us. Mud, trees, or animals, birds, every part of this earth is sacred to us, my people. Okay, next. Every shining pine needle, every sandy shore, every mist in the dark woods, every clearing and humming insect is holy in the memory and experience of my people. Holy. Yes, next. The sap that courses through the trees carries the memories of the red man. Next. Red man means indigenous people. Next. Okay. Again, beautiful sentence. The shining water that moves in the streams and the rivers is not just water, but the blood of our ancestors. They value the rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Brahmaputra, or in rivers in Kerala, 44 rivers. The big, huge company, the globalized companies, they come and they pollute water. They use that one just for consumeristic purpose. We will develop you. And what they do is they pollute. But these tribals, they say, this is the blood of our ancestors. If you sell your land, you must remember that it is sacred, and you must teach your children that it is sacred. So tribal values, tribal religious values. Okay, next. Next. And that each ghostly reflection in the clear water of the lake tells of events and memories in the life of my people. Next. Yes, the water's memories, voice of my father's father. So even that they feel that. Yes, next. The rivers are our brothers. They quench our thirst. Rivers. Okay, next. The rivers carry our canoes and feed our children. Next. You must teach your children that the rivers are our brothers. I don't think any other religion teach like this. You must henceforth give the rivers the kindness you would give any brother. Yes. Next. We know that the white man does not understand our ways. I would say in India, we the non-tribals, we don't understand the tribal ways. One portion of land is the same to him as the nature, who comes in the night and takes from the land whatever he needs. Yes, next. Next. The earth is not his brother, but his enemy. And when he has conquered it, he moves on. That's what we see, they destroy. Yes, next. He keeps his mother, the earth, and his brother, the sky, as things to be bought, plundered, sold like sheep or like beasts. Next. He leaves his father's graves and his children's birthright forgotten. Next. His appetite will devour the earth and leave behind only the desert. But very powerful words of Christianity. Our ways are different from your ways. The sight of the cities pains the eyes of the red man, but perhaps it is because the red man is their habit, does not understand. Next. There is no quiet place in the white man's city. Yes, next. No place to hear the unfolding of spring or the rustle of an insect's wings. Next. What is there to life if a man cannot hear the lonely cry of a bird or arguments of the frogs around a pond at night? What is there? Okay, next. I prefer the soft sound of the wind cutting over the face of a pond and the small smell of the wind itself, cleansed by rain or scented with the pine cone. Next. The air is precious to the red man, for all things share the same breath. The beast, the tree, the man, they all share the same breath. What a beautiful idea. This is a tribal view again. Air is precious to all tribals. Yeah. Remember, the air is precious to us. That the air shares its spirit with all the life it supports. Yes, next. Yeah, change. The wind that gave our grandfather his first breath also received his last sigh. Next. If we sell you our land, you must keep it apart and sacred as a place where even you can go to taste the wind that is sweetened by the meadow's flowers. Next. What is man without the beast? Coexisting man and animal? Yes. Next. If all the beasts were gone, man would die from a great loneliness of spirit. Next. For whatever happens to the beast soon happens to man. All things are connected. Beautiful sentence. You must teach your children that the ground beneath their feet is the ashes of our grandfathers, so that they will respect the land. Teach your children what we have taught our children, that the earth is our mother. Next. Whatever befalls the earth befalls the sons of the earth. Next. Man did not weave the web of life. He is merely to stand in it. Whatever he does to the web, he does to himself. Again, wonderful. This is a tribal worldview. Continue to contaminate your bed, and you will one night suffocate in your own waste. Next. These shores and forests will still hold the spirits of my people. Yes. Next. For they love this earth as the newborn loves his mother's heartbeat. Land, love it as we have loved it. Care for it as we have cared for it. Maybe all tribals will tell us. Yes. And with all your strength, with all your mind, with all your heart, preserve the land for your children and love it. Next. One thing we know, our God is the same God. This earth is precious to him. Next. Yes. So, I'm going to conclude. What we just now heard or read, this Seattle's beautiful talk or message to the what is called President of America. It's very relevant even now. And why I shared this is what whomever I met the tribals believe. South Seattle, each sentence is when you talk with the tribals, they say, yes, we believe, we respect the land, the water, the forest, animals, birds, or the air, everything. You can stop the presentation, Ambri. So, the conclusion is the resources that the tribals or tribal religion or culture have to foster. What are the resources? These are their resources. Their worldview, their culture, their love for the earth, the Christians way, what we say is gospel value, respect for others, equality, or love for the mother earth. That value is much relevant even today, and we have to follow that one. But all people, I would say, what is the model for us? The tribal worldview, tribal culture, tribal life itself is model. So, but often what we project is the negative aspect of tribal. We have in our area, even when you see the tribal area, people, even Malayalis, they speak negative about them. Tribals are all vanguard or they are this, and them deeply when you understand their worldview deeply, you will understand that that is model for us. That actually foster real, what is it called, peace in our society. I would say, as a conclusion, let us consciously promote peace in our country, especially among other religions, where there is a hatred, communalism, violence, discrimination is going on. We have to consciously, and the tribals are the best people. Because they never. One example is when I have seen one tribal was attacked, and they don't complain. They are serene, calm, and they take everything very cool way. That is really we just wonder. Tribal people very, when you go to Santal's area in Dumka or Jharkhand or Sepasa area or West Bengal, these tribal communities, the people, how they live, how the unity, the sharing, the care for each other. When they get suppose an animal, suppose they share with everybody. Sharing, everything is we should learn from them. I think that is actually will help us to promote real harmony and peace in our country. I don't know whether I I have spoken properly. If you have some questions and so on, I may be able to share about my experience.
Thank you, Father
Especially on
Dr.
Attapady.
Antony. S.Lenin Antony, you have shared your views and your understanding about tribal culture, especially tribals in Kerala and their beliefs and value systems, and some of the features of tribals in India, specifically in Kerala, and their working of it. Thank you very much. And now the floor is open for discussions. Your questions to the speaker, clarification to the speaker, or any comments on whatever is spoken on the topic. So welcome. Anyone, whoever is ready to ask any questions, unmute themselves and speak. Since there is no questions coming, let me ask one question. Dr. Lenin, I would like to ask, see, we have, what are the resources from tribal religion? Do they have any written resources? Like say, we have in major religions, we have got the sacred scriptures. Most of the situations, we rely on the sacred scriptures, whether it be Bible, Quran, or Bhagavad Gita, or any religious scriptures is a leading or a guiding mark. In tribal religion, do you have anything like tribal scriptures or written something, or any such kind of material available to go back and rely on?
Most of the tribal tradition is oral tradition. So coming to Kerala, now some tribal communities, they don't have any what is called written document about their own even family traditions also. They don't even know about their cultural practice or their language, etc. So Kerala, I don't think they have. They are trying to systematically. They are trying to write down. At least some tribal communities they do. But out of 36 communities, at least more than 10 communities are almost diminishing, or they are almost in mainstream in the sense they don't want to say that they are tribal. It is a situation. So other parts of country, of course, I am sure, like Uravu or Sandals or Ho or major tribals, they have lot of literature written down about a lot of studies have been done in different parts of the country. That's what when we refer in the different places, we see that one. Maybe like Father Joe James is there. He is in Indian Socialist Bengaluru, and Bangalore ISA and Delhi ISA and so on are taking initiative to publish a lot of tribal literature or tribal traditional thing like medicine and so on. There are so many books are now available. But as a resources, other I don't think in South India it is very little. Like Rajasthan or they should have. I have not explored it. I have not gone through. I should explore it all.
Father Anthony.
Yes, Father.
When there's a conflict between an individual member of the tribe and the tribe at large, how do they deal with it? Is it only as a kind of a social issue, or also there's a kind of a religious component to the action and the situation?
What I have, my experience is in Kerala only, where I lived in tribal area, where Palakkad. There, what I have seen is when there is any issue, it is connected with family or other conflicts. Usually, the elder of the community, that is called Mupan, he as well as other, they have a governing system. We call it in Malayalam Mupan, Bandari, Kurudala, Mandakar. These four are like governing system. Like they four come together. They call them like assembly. They call it Urukutam. Urukutam means village gathering. Like one together. They come together. They discuss and the The Moopan is the ultimate voice. But they all oblige, all listen to him, and they settle. Very rarely they fight. And where others only, often they come and attack and issue create issues. But in general, they are, Moopan is the elder, whatever he says, others will obey him. That is what we see. It may be same with many parts of other parts of country also same.
And what happens when there's a conflict between two different tribes?
Different tribe, Kerala, we don't see that because it is they live in a hamlet. When you take in a hamlet, it is the same tribal that communities they live together. So in general, I have not seen among tribals, we don't have so far, at least last 15 years, I'm sure there is no, among tribal communities, we don't see fight. Suppose a tribal man falls in love with another tribal girl, like they don't bother, they accept that one. Otherwise, they don't have any big quarrel, fight, and they are very humble people in Kerala. I don't know whether like Jharkhand, other parts of country, whether among two major tribals they fight and so on. I have not come across. Maybe others could say, explain. There maybe knowledgeable people are there in our group.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Any other questions from the audience?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Audible.
Yeah, Father. Good evening.
Yes, Father.
What I wanted to ask you is, there is a lot of medicinal and herbal use.
Yes.
I mean, we could take from them. The tribals have a particular type of medicine which they use for. Let us say probably it is generic or whatever, but it is being used in various ailments that right now are afflicting a lot of people. But unfortunately, this is not being sort of tabulated or noted or put down into books or in any formal way of computing this. That is where we are losing out, because these tribals slowly they are being pushed back, because as progress reaches their territories, they are being pushed back, and we are losing out on a lot of their cultural values or their various other this thing which they could help us, and integrating them is basically it is not productive to them. I mean, we may want to integrate them, but maybe they do not want to be integrated, and I feel somewhere we are losing out, in the sense that the tribals may not want to be integrated into this, and they would want to live their own life peacefully. But I don't know, maybe there's too much of push and pull going on. Just like recently, the forest people were pushed away by the Supreme Court in various places. Today is sort of creating pressure on these tribals, because they have no voice. They are not united. They have no sort of, one person standing up for them or anybody taking up for them and fighting their cause. They're losing out big time.
Yes.
So I feel in a way we instead of taking sort of getting them to towards progress, we're actually regressing them. I mean, that is my view of it, and I feel it is not justified on our part. What do you feel, Father?
The first thing is this tribal or ethno medicine is of course very rich, and we have to as it's called value it. I have seen in Kerala, we in Wayanad or in Palakkad, different parts of Kerala, different communities, they have traditional practice, especially the ethno medicine is valid. I have seen in Gujarat and different parts of the country, I think they have. Unfortunately, we are not able to, even we are not documented properly. And interestingly, in our place, they don't reveal. This elder ethno practitioner, when we say, could you reveal? We say, till they die, they don't reveal to anyone else about how they practice this ethnomedicine, and only to their son or daughter, son towards the end, before dying, they may reveal. That is one issue actually. At the same time, if you are able to collect them, and it's a very valuable thing, and they have been practicing all parts of India. The tribals have rich ethno practices, ethno medicinal practices. And we had a practitioner, and he was very powerful in healing many diseases. And he is no more now. And I know a few practitioners. And unfortunately, we could not do much more, or we could not get them documented, unfortunately. So it is an important thing.
On the one hand, Father, they are scared basically because they have been used and abused, and they are scared to divulge their medicine because they feel exploited on the one hand. On the second hand is that people in general, since they do not understand them, and anything that you don't understand, you fight against that. So these people lose out there, and that is where they lose. I mean, they are being hunted sort of like animals. They are fought against, they are pushed back, just because we do not understand their culture or we do not understand them. And that is where we are losing out big time, and we're losing a lot of medicine, a lot of values which they could instill amongst us, because we do not want to imbibe that, and somehow we don't understand that culture. I've been to Madhya Pradesh, and I've been working with I mean, not working actually, but observing in Bastar area. I've been with the tribals there, and I've seen their culture and how they have traditional medicine and all that for various diseases. I mean, most of them are not. I mean, they can handle most of the diseases that are common to them. But the minute we come there, the diseases that we have, they do not have that immunity to our diseases, and that is where they have a problem, and that is where most of them get decimated, because we take our diseases to them, and they do not have that immunity built up to fight our diseases. I feel that way we are sort of creating a tremendous amount of pressure on the. I mean, that's what I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions from the audience?
Can I say something?
Yes, sir.
I'm Mika Joseph.
Back.
Other people, I think you didn't recognize me in Gilby also.
Yes,
On this issue of the medicine which comes from the tribal areas, Father, letting you tell us whether it's really a matter of values, because the medicines which they give, they do not charge for. And it is very likely they are afraid that this will be commercialized. See, they feel that, these are special gifts they have from God, which they have to share. And you might remember, in Gujarat, there was this Madiwala who used to even cure your, slip disc with a kick. So that was an art which he also taught to some of his disciples. And they had given a vow to him not to charge. So in reply to this query raised by Sanjeev Brar, is it that they are scared that if we go to them, they will commercialize it? And therefore, they feel that is immoral? Because it's passed from, it's passed from father to son. But the way it is going, these arts will soon die. But we are still in India, we are fortunate now to see a lot of such cases, even dealing with things like, jaundice, infective hepatitis and all. They have such simple remedies. But no one else knows about it. But the important thing I want to stress is that they do not charge. They come out of their way to treat you for any problems. They do not charge. So is that the reason why they are holding out on this knowledge, that they feel it will be commercially exploited, and that is not ethical or not moral? I don't know. I mean, I've always asked myself this question, but never been able to come to an answer. And I know for a fact that I met some Adivasis also. they say, well, I mean, what do you think in the tribal areas? If someone breaks a bone or something, we have no remedies. We have diabetes. You think we don't treat there? But why that knowledge is not coming to our world. So we are still in an experimental stage in the allopathic medicine. So what is your opinion on this, Father?
Tribal medicine is expensive, but people hesitate to go. Some places, they charge so much. For example, yeah, we have a center called Tribal people have a center, cancer center. Many come from different parts of Tamil Nadu and Kerala to that center. And interestingly, the man, practitioner is alcoholic and old, and he married a Muslim lady. She is like a business. She collects a lot of money, and people know that, but many come there. So sometimes it is also like a business center. So people have negative thinking is there. So that is another aspect of that one. But in general, when they give medicine, they charge well. So and it is very effective. So most of the ordinary this tribal medicinal practitioners are genuine and very effective. But people, some more than since they are not educated, they look very simple people. So our people exploit them. Our means the non-tribals, and their medicine is not properly sold and so on. That is an issue actually. So this should be, maybe government should take more initiative in our country as to promote this tribal medicine, as well as they should be paid. I mean, for their medicine properly, they should be provided.
Now, I would like to add that this is the first time I have heard that, they charge so much for their medicines.
Yes.
I'll give an example which just came to my mind.
Yes.
Of a relative of mine whose son got polio. And he got polio at a late in life. Someone told him about this tribal person in Pune who gave a certain massage to the leg. And that man used to come in an auto to them, give the massage and go back, and did not charge at all. And you'll be surprised, conventional medicine could not accept that this happened. The man even did army service in Israel, and the doctors, they just could not believe that he was a victim at one time of polio. So this is the knowledge that is there. I try as hard as I could to find out who that person was or trying to contact him. I did not succeed. So I suppose, it's divine grace that finally puts you in touch with such people.
Thank you, sir. Father Jivendra, Dr. Jivendra is there. He has raised the hand. Unmute, Father. You are asking question.
Okay. No, I just want to give some clarification about documentation of the medicines. I think some effort was made in documenting the medicines from Nandurbar, Shivpur area. We also have some books about it. It's in social center. There are many books there. Some people come and even buy those books. That is there. Another thing is also, to my mind, though some documentation is there, one has to have real faith in taking those medicines. We being the analytical minds that we have and the experiments that we rely upon, especially influenced by the allopathic medicines, we find it very difficult to believe those medicines. That's another thing. I also have some experience of taking some Ayurvedic medicines from one of the fellows from Vani. That fellow had real good medicines with him, and it was also effective. But the problem was money. He was charging very high. Not only that, once he knew that I am a priest, he started telling me what the other priests had done for him. Like one fellow, he said, gave me a motorbike now, and I thought he was trying to ask me for another motorbike for his son. I stopped that medicine. So things like that also are there, you see. It's quite possible that the priests who were there around in that area gave him a motorbike. I don't say no. Maybe their goodness, but that such goodness we don't have. Maybe I get so much money to buy a motorbike for that fellow. So things like this also are there. Not that we don't believe sometimes, we believe sometimes. It's avarice from the part of the tribals also. So things like this are there, unfortunately.
Just a small question. This Ayurvedic person you went to, after him, did that art continue or it died with him?
That afterwards I stopped
No,
taking his medicine.
sometimes they lose that healing power, when they do such things. I mean, this is what I have seen. So I'm quite surprised at the number of cases coming out of commercialism in this.
Yes, in fact, they somehow the belief is there that they shouldn't charge. They will lose their power. But now things are changing, you see. The fellow had really become avarice. Of course, I have not kept track of the fellow because I was working in Nasik area those days. I see, after when I thought he was really taking a lot of money, then I said, no, yeah, this is not possible. You see. So I have no idea what happened to him. It was years back, about 25 years ago. So I don't know, more than that, but 30 years ago maybe, yes. It was somewhere in 91, 92.
Could I come in here? Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, come,
Yes, sir.
come, ask us.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll just one thing. We are talking about commercialization of their medicines. Now, maybe we are mixing the issues, Ayurveda and tribal medicine. There's a lot of difference between Ayurvedic medicines and tribal medicines. You see, tribal medicines are basically age-old hand-me-downs from father to son and onwards. Ayurveda has a text. Ayurveda has been followed over the years, a particular line of treatment. But the tribal medicines are basically, these are down-to-earth people who have lived in the forest or have live off the land, and whatever this thing they have had is basically what they have learned over the years, maybe trial and error, maybe maybe they had some shamans or guys who are skilled in medicine amongst their tribes, but they never charged. I mean, I have seen these tribals, if they're genuine tribals. I mean, there are fakes who claim to be tribals, but they have never charged. I mean, and unfortunately, the medicine that they profess or whatever medicine that they practice, there is no written medicine. There's no standardization, unfortunately. Maybe today it works, tomorrow it doesn't work because there is no standardization. And maybe the father did fantastic, maybe his son is not able to do it. And that is where it's slowly losing out. And that is what I feel, that this needs to be handled in a proper way and this needs to be taken care of, because we are not only medicine. If you see the tribals, that the fruits and vegetables that they grow, and today we call it organic, but they have been doing it for donkey's years. Today we name it as organic fruits or organic vegetables or organic whatever. But they've been doing it. I mean, my point in this was that there's a classic there's a differentiation between Ayurveda and tribal medicine. I mean, that is what I wanted to say. If there is some quack who's been making money out of it, maybe he's not a tribal, maybe he's one of those practitioners who basically had some skill for a little while or learned it from somebody, used it, and then made money out of it. I mean, that is what I wanted to say.
Thank you. Yes, Jivendra.
What I have shared now is of a tribal. It's not an Ayurvedic fellow. A tribal fellow.
I'm saying this may be the exception. What I'm trying to say is he may be the exception, not the norm. It's not the norm. The tribals by nature are very docile and very humble and very introvert. They don't mix very easily. They don't come out in the open. I mean, if you push them to something, they will not do it. Voluntarily, yes. But if you push them to do something, they will never do it. I have seen this in Bastar. I mean, I was there for quite, they do fantastic work in medicine or growing vegetables and fruits and things like that. Even handicrafts, they're very good at it. If they do it on their own voluntarily, yes. But the minute you push them to do something and you offer them money or something, they will not do it. But times have changed. Everything is changing slowly. There's a lot of interaction with and so much of pull and pressures that are being put on them, and push and pull going on. We are intruding into their space, and somehow I think we are killing their basic culture, which I feel is basically wrong. It's all over the world. It's not only here, whether it's America, whether it's Australia, whether it's New Zealand. The indigenous people are getting pushed back. And what we say is progress is what is actually killing their individual lifestyle.
Actually, that is what I said right at the beginning. I've never known the tribals to charge for, their medicines and services. And as faith in them, we don't realize that this is it's more like a spiritual science, which we don't know about. And there are cases sometimes we know of where the tribal knows of someone suffering. They just go and visit that person. If they are received well by the family, that family is lucky because the person suffering will be cured and you never see them again. So these are aspects which slowly, are going out of our lives. We are shutting the doors to such people. If only we kept open minds, things would change. It is a real sad thing for all of us.
So thank you. We've now come to the end of our program for today. I want to take this chance to thank Father Anthony and his team from Kerala for enlightening us on the tribal way of life and the values they have, which would enrich us if we could incorporate those value systems into our mainstream. Because as you know, today in the context of climate change, we realize how we have destroyed our world and in the process destroyed ourselves. So I think we need to see how we can really bring tribal values, tribal ways of doing things into our whole educational system and into our thought patterns. I also want to thank all our audience, for all those present, those who asked questions, and those who just listened. And I invite you all for our next program that will be on the 24th of September, where we will have the same topic discussed from the Christian point of view, how to deal with violence. I also want to thank our moderator, Gilby sir, who's also our chief technician and always with us. So thank you, Gilby. And thank you one and all for your participation. Good night.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll end the session. Feedback form is shared in the chat. If you are like to have some feedback, most welcome.
Thank you and good night.
Good night. Thank you.